suggested to get a mount and all this stuff, but I think it depends. If you have a mount, you might get in trouble. And someone was saying something about me holding it and it wiggles a lot, but sorry, it's just like really more comfortable and I can pay attention to the comments and stuff a little better. Okay, so anyway, today's subject is teaching preschoolers grammar, and I know it's probably nothing exciting and everything, but it's exciting for me, so I'm gonna do it. So anyway, if you like my videos, please subscribe, share, hit the notification for all times, and if you like what you hear, you can send a donation. The information is at the bottom. Description. And with that, let's have fun. Oh, we got one viewer who's in the house. Anyway, if you can chime in, if you don't want to, it's all cool. Thumbs up would be appreciated. So let's talk about what's this thing called teaching preschoolers grammar. Now, why did I come up with this not situation, but why did I come up with this topic? Well, first of all, I was not taught to teach children officially. I have no degrees or anything like that, but I have taught children grammar, my own children, and with that experience, and I'm a father, and who has successfully taught his one of my children. The other one I didn't get to teach grammar, but I'm sure the older child taught the younger child. I mean, the younger brother. And with that said, let's get this party started. So I was in this group that's in this clubhouse app, and it's really interesting. So we were in there talking about different things and stuff like that. And so I brought up the fact that I could teach grammar to young children, and it's easy for me, right? And a comment came back from a woman who, um, when I said that it's easy, I turned off the Bluetooth. I don't know what's going on, but can you hear me? Can you hear? Oh, that means I would have to start all over. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is so sad. So sad. I gotta start all over. How many minutes? 7 minutes. And it is. Okay, so I guess I'll just have to do something else. Which I should have done this a long time. Are we back? I hear you now. Oh, thank you, thank you. Whew, boy. I was gonna start crying and stuff. Cause no one couldn't hear me. Okay. So anyway, she got really. How can I turn this off? Cool. Oh, forget it. I'll just cancel it. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So she got really upset. Thank you, viewer. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can still hear me. So she got really upset at me, and a lot of people just jumped on her side, you know. And I was like, one thing that really was really like disturbing was, why would she just jump in on me when other people are not saying that things were easy, but why did she single out my words, you know, of everyone there, you know, speaking and stuff. But I guess, you know, because someone had doctors by their names, and you read the bios and stuff, it's a lot of people in there who are doing very important things and stuff. But I was like so sad, and I was like, no, I didn't say it like that. I said this, and everybody was like, oh, you said it like that. And so eventually I got kicked out the room, and I'm thinking, wow, that was so cool. But anyway, teaching preschoolers grammar, I think it's really important, and that a lot of people really should try it. Now, I have written a book about teaching grammar, and it could be used for any age group, but they have to have basic reading skills. So I used to have 3-year-olds who could read, but I haven't recently got any 3-year-olds yet. And I think I have 2 that haven't started reading. I think one just turned 3, one just turned 4 or 5. But you know, they're just playing, because sometimes you do have some students who are serious. I mean, they play, but for some reason they just absorb everything. Then you got some who don't care and stuff like that, and they just in there having fun. But quite a bit of my 4-year-old students and 5-year-old students and stuff. And so anyway, yeah, it's really fun, you know, teaching grammar. And I think what I don't really understand about adults or teachers when they're teaching grammar is the fact that they say that it's difficult, but yet they're teachers and stuff. So I can understand, like, if you were to, I mean, like, the basic grammar, basically it's like grammar, it's a block, okay? It's like a blockchain now. It's a block. There's a system, there's a structure, and that's it. And now I can understand when they start, like, if you have words and you got these tech terminologies, I can't think of any. Like if you say adverbial phrase or verbal phrase and stuff like that. Now I can understand that might be difficult to teach kids. Actually, it's not. For me, it's not. But I can understand something like that, or they have these other grammatical nomenclatures that they use. But but I was thinking to myself, you know, when I was talking to one person, and they were like, well, do you teach your students this, whatever it was, some word? And I started laughing. I'm like, yeah, I teach them that, but I don't teach in that nomenclature. I use it different. I teach it in a different way, in a different manner. And I don't know, it's just really interesting how much problems I had. But yeah, I think we really should try to do that. Now, what I do at my school and when I teach young kids is I teach them based on what is that called? Similarities, I guess, because in English you have singular and plural, and that's what I use. I actually use singular and plural in my classes, and I teach them that and stuff, and it's really cool. And also, um, what's that other thing called? Man. Also, the what's that thing called? Let's see, Shembop. Thank you for joining. And anyway, when I teach grammar, because I have this book and it goes in order, and actually it's, I don't know how many pages it is, but in the book there are 14 tests. The tests are about their be verb tests, and then it's the continuous test, what is it? The present continuous tense test. But I'm thinking that might be verbs and action verbs, or only, no, it was both be verbs and action verbs. And then I have a test where it's just action verbs only. So the kids would have to choose. I mean, it's really easy: I eat, or I eat, which one, right? And I teach the kids how to do it. And it's interesting because the way I teach it in such a way where these kids can't forget. Then all they have to do is, after they're reading it, I mean, they don't have to read perfectly or anything, but they just have to be able to recognize a word, maybe be able to pronounce a few words, just get comfortable. In other words, when they open up a book, they won't run away. But some students do read, though. They are capable of reading the material that I created for them. And let me see, where was I going with this? I lost my thought of train. Oh, so there are only 3 tests that they have to take. So what I do is I explain to them what a subject is, a single and a plural subject. I explain them, what be is. I explain to them what action verbs are in singular, and everything's singular and plural. Then I show them how to match it. And of course, the normal thing is to give them exercises, homework, and then give them tests. But I don't do that. I just jump to the test, show them how it's done, give them a few examples, and then let them go by themselves. And it's just amazing. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for watching. And it's just amazing how they'll read, and it's like the reading. It's like maybe 4 or 5 stories they can read, unless they're really going. Because you get some students who can, read like. I have a Mr. A and a Mr. B. Thank you for the thumbs up. A Mr. A and a Mr. B. The people's name are like A and B, and that's it. Because I used to use names, but when I use Tom and Yuki, then the mothers or whoever there said, "Oh, it's Yuki, or name me your girlfriend," or something like that. So I just started using letters. But some children are able to read and stuff like that, and I mean, it was just so amazing to see that. They'll just be able to read and all this stuff. And so once they're comfortable reading, then I start teaching them the subjects and the how to match subjects and verbs. And yo, what's up, Travel Shortcuts, in here talking about this boring subject, teaching preschoolers grammar and stuff. But let me see. So once they're comfortable, then I just jump into it, and it is so cool. I mean, the way I teach it is like so cool. These kids understand it. The parents that come in, because I'm telling them, what I'm gonna do, and I let them come and watch the first class. And so while I'm, explaining it, writing things in the book for each of the students and stuff like that, or if there's too many students, then, they just have to write for themselves, But and it's parents at first, they're like tripping and stuff, like, oh, I don't think my kid can do this, and I don't really understand it. So I know they can't understand it and stuff, and we go through it, and the kids will take a test, and I'm telling you, get kids that might get 2 wrong. I think I had one student, she was in the 6th grade, and I think there was like 25 questions or something like that, or 30 questions on the B verbs test. But the first half of the test, I'll go through. I like to just go through like 3 or 4 examples. But in my kindergarten class, sometimes I just go through like the first half of the page, or the first vertical half of the page because it's like have 2 columns and stuff. And then some of the kids who catch on, I just tell them to go ahead and just go on and do it. And you get these kids getting 100%, 95%, 85% on these grammar tests, and it's really interesting. And of course, I have to, and right now I'm going to meet up with Ryman Gaijin. He's down here in Osaka. So anyway, it's really interesting how these kids just catch on, and I'm talking about 4-year-old kids, not a whole bunch, but 4-year-olds, definitely the kindergarten kids, the first graders, second graders and stuff, and they just catch on, do the test, and then after that we check the tests live. Oh boy, are they gonna let me get in? Oh, not gonna let me get in. Why wouldn't they let me get in? Oh boy, this is going to be tough. And so they're not gonna let me. Wait, let me ask this dude next door. Oh, I can't. I gotta get over 2 lanes. Up, now I ain't gonna be able to do it. So I gotta keep straight. Going this way. Actually, going straight is really cool because. Sorry about my finger. Going straight is really cool because it's wider, but it just takes a longer time. And I want to go to the left over here. I mean, your left lane, because it'll go like this, but this one here it'll go out. So I messed up. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. Okay. Thank you. The guy over here let me go to the right, so that's cool. It's easier to go this way. Okay, great. And I can go to turn. Look at this. I did not. Oh, sorry about that. Whew, good thing I didn't hit that thing. But anyway, it's so awesome, So we when we finish the test, I give everybody their scores. You do have some students who aren't really paying attention and they don't do well on the test. So what I do is just the ones that they got, the ones that they attempted, those are the ones I grade. The ones they didn't do, I don't grade them. So, because the grammar test for them is just for fun. And I mean, it's serious for me because once they get the grammar test done, then I could go and start teaching them how to speak in English, and taking one word and making their own sentences, doing the teaching them nouns, explicitly teaching them what nouns are, how to use a, and the, and of course, since they know how to match the subjects and verbs, it's a continuation of that. But what's going on is these students are actually learning to make their own sentences and stuff with this list that I have. So it's not whether they do well or not on a test, it really doesn't matter to me, but I do want them to do well because the parents are going to look, because that's the only evidence. Hello, the viewers in the house. Wow. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. That was crazy. Maybe a secret earthquake happened or something. But anyway, I know that it's better that the parents see that their kids score 80%, 90%, 100%, but it really doesn't matter because once we grade the test, then most of the kids completely understand. And so sometimes I invite the parents to come as we're grading the test, and it is just so cool to see these kids, even the ones who didn't do well on the test or thought it was difficult. When you're speaking, you say, okay, well, you got this I, okay, and it's going to be I is, or is I, then the next word is in parentheses, and then the next word is am. And so they have to figure out which one it is. And so I show them a really neat trick to do that. And we go over it on the board and stuff, on the whiteboard. And all these kids are participating and they understand it and stuff. And it is just so cool. And then, like I said, I do that for the, what is that thing called? The be verbs, action verbs. Then, here go the funny part. The cool part I love is I start teaching them how to use their articles, indefinite articles, a and an, right? And I do understand that a lot of people out here don't do that. They don't even teach them. There was this conversation where you have these professional English teachers out here, and they were saying, like, even in America, that they were saying something like children's brains aren't developed, and it's not even mentally fit for them to start learning grammar, even in elementary. And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, know, are they serious? It just can't, it just was like so impossible to believe. But I can understand because of the way that the English is taught. It's not taught in a way where people can just flow through it and without any real connection. It's just, I am, and then he, she, it is, and I mean, you, we, and they, are, and they just have to remember that. But I have another way where they don't even have to even remember any of that stuff at all. And so for the A and N, it's just a one and done deal. I show them, about and, I, A, E, O, and all that stuff. I, A, E, O, U, and all of that stuff. We have a few practices, and then the test, their sentences and stuff. And all I do is just read the sentence. That's all, and they choose which letter to use. And it's cool to see some of these kids actually get 100% on these tests. There's always two questions that have the most, they usually get wrong. Not a lot, but if those are definitely, if any of them are going to get wrong, it's going to be one of those two almost every time. Not every time, but one kid in the class, a few kids are going to get, these certain numbers wrong. But when we go over the test and do it, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Because, a lot of them, they just rushing through it. Just imagine, you got kindergarten kids, rushing through tests, right? But it's just really cool to do it, And then after that, I jump into teaching them how to, what's that called? Take one word like comprehend or whatever, it doesn't matter, bake or whatever. And so then I show them how to take that word and make it to an English sentence. But the fun thing that I love about it is, like, when I said, okay, I'm gonna start teaching you guys about nouns, and I just got this real cool way where I teach them, and and it's just interesting because a lot of them just don't forget. And as they progress to higher and higher levels, which the highest level actually is when after I teach them what I do is I teach them how to translate from Japanese questions to English questions, and then how to answer questions in English. And I do that for be verbs, action verbs, and modal verbs, can, could, would, and all those things. Hello, new viewers. Just talking about teaching, young kids grammar. And the ages are from Japanese kids. So the youngest I've had actually take my subjects and verbs test was 3 years old. She used to be, I think she was probably, other than in the kindergarten, but for a while she was for a while she was the youngest one who got the lowest grade, which was a 75% score. Usually most kids would get like 80, 85, 90. Some kids get 100. But maybe my teaching skills might be waning a little bit, or these kids are, too busy thinking about something else. But I had some scores. I think the lowest score after that maybe was a 65 or something like that. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, in kindergarten, so it doesn't matter as long as they comprehend once they're getting corrected and stuff. And so then I teach the modal verbs, how to translate Japanese modal verbs into English modal verbs. And then once they translate to English, then the next step is to teach them how to answer it. And teaching them how to answer it is just so fun. You get these 4-year-old kids, 5-year-old kids, 6-year-old kids, Japanese kids, and you teach them this, and then they catching on to the point where they're it's like when I say something in my YouTube videos that helps people, then we meet up, and then they start telling me, sharing information I share with them. using my words and stuff. And of course, it's good because people like to talk about the things they know. But it's just so freaky when it's just like when I'm hearing someone saying something that I know specifically that I said, and it's just a trip. But you get some of these kids, and actually, sometimes I make mistakes because I'm just so excited that a lot of them actually correct me, especially when for some reason I'll put a question mark at the end of a statement. Like, why you use a question mark? And I'm like, wow, you guys are really paying attention and stuff. But ooh, wow, look at that building. Then but let me open this up. And then after that, um, then I teach them how to answer it. And like I said, answering the questions in English is just so cool. We just go over, and then I give them homework. And it's funny because these two girls, I think they started to third grade, but they're second graders. One of them is really, really catching on. The other one, she caught on a little later, but they both are smart. And so I give them homework, and one of the students, she, I think she was a second grader, first or a second grade. I'm not sure. Maybe they're going to third grade now. But I give them homework, and I'll go home. And this one mother, her daughter wasn't as smart as the other one, but I told her don't worry about it because the other student, her father speaks English, and she's taking English, and when she come into class, she's always speaking to me in English and stuff like that. But the grammar and stuff, she don't know anything about it. So the other mother, she was a little concerned and was trying to push her daughter to catch up. And I said, don't do that because it's not necessary because the way I teach English, she's going to be able to catch up to the other student really quick. And so what she would do was I would give her homework. The mother would help. Come back. I said, did your mother help? She'll say yes. And then I'll look at it, and it's like there's these steps that I want these students to take so that they can not only be able to do, whatever the problem caused them, what they're supposed to do, but when you do it in steps, hello, 4 viewers, thank you. But when I do it in steps, it's more or less for them to remember this pattern. So the mother, I kept walking in, looking at the homework, and I don't grade it at all. And I keep telling the mother, stop teaching your kid. Don't just give her the answer. There's a step. It took like a couple of weeks before she finally understood and stuff. And it was really interesting. Now she doesn't doing anymore because now the kids are like at this level to the point where I'm teaching them how to make a statement into various questions. So like say like I run to a store every day at 3 o'clock. Well, how many questions are there? There's at least 6 questions, maybe 5, 6 questions or something like that, that you can make with that statement that's going to get that. So I teach them how to do that, which is real cool, really easy, really, really cool. And so now they can do it. So next week, I think tomorrow, I have the class. So what we're going to do is we're going to start reading again, start from the beginning, and then start discussing the stories. So let's say like if it was something simple, like I'll just say something really simple, just because I don't even know where Rami Gaijin is. Oh man, I'm gonna have to finish this soon. But where hotel is at? But anyway, I can use my other thing. Okay, so anyway. Let's say like you have this conversation. How are you? I am fine. Thank you. How are you? Are you hungry? Yes, I am hungry. What do you want to eat? I want to eat an apple. Here you are. Thank you. You're welcome. So of course, we'll go through they'll read it. I'll grade their reading skills, and then we'll start discussing the story. So it'll be something like, I'll start off first, and it's like, how are you? I am fine. So I'll start with the I am fine, and I'll say, okay, because they had to practice, of course I go through the steps, but I'm writing it. They don't have to write anything, because I write for them when we get to that level. And I'm like, okay, who wants to go first? And then they have to make questions. So the first question obviously is going to be who is fine, then how is B, since B was the person, because I always use A and B as the names. And then you go on and go on and go on, and everybody takes turn asking the question, answering the question, and answer the question, answer the question. And it just so, hey, what's up, 4 viewers in the house, thank you. And it is just so great to just see this, these conversations just, flow. If there's mistakes, I'll just ask them a couple of questions and they'll fix it. And then as the conversations go, each week goes, the conversations become more and more complicated, or I mean not complicated, but complex. And and then I start adding in what do you think, or if you were, what this or that, and these things. And it's just so beautiful, just to see these kids. And I'm just thinking to myself, and I'm crying to myself, and I'm like, I need to get this I need to get this back to the States. I need to get it back to the Black communities, what I'm saying? Of course, all the communities, but I start with what's familiar with me first. And just go back to Detroit, and like, hey, call my cousins up, yo, hey, because I got a lot of cousins that are like educated and they got degrees, they just know their stuff. And like, yo, I got this, let's get this started, and I really need to get it. But it's just so cool teaching these kids this grammar. So I have a friend out here, he's in my YouTube videos, named Bart, white guy. So he asked me to send him a book, and so I sent it to him. And I just got a message from him today too, and he was like, how much can I pay you to teach my son grammar, because his son is 4 years old. So I know he'll catch on really quick. Maybe it shouldn't even take more than like 3 months to teach him everything. If I just teach him 1 hour, 1 hour a week, and that's it. And I was like really surprised he asked me, because I'm like, it's really simple, but I understand that it might seem difficult, because I was in this English expo, and what happened? What had happened? Let me think. What happened? Oh, so I was explaining it to the students about how the class was and stuff like that. And it was really interesting when I started explaining it that they didn't understand what I was saying, and I gave them an and test. I see A, or I see N, or whatever, and they were like, the whole class was confused, and I'm like, okay, forget it. Then I started, explaining to them how I teach these kids how to match nouns and verbs, right? And a lot of them was really confused, and they just, you could just see this confusion on their faces. I'm like, I don't understand how you guys don't understand this, because I did this little trick and stuff, and they were like all confused. I was like, whatever. And then they started asking me these questions, and I'm starting talking to them and telling them and trying to explain it, and they just don't explain it. I mean, they just don't comprehend, but the students do. I'm just like, wow. So what I just basically realized that, hey, I got this niche that no one is doing in the world that I've heard of. All the people who I've talked to online in these English groups, and they just had a seminar, an online expo, and teachers are teaching different things, and what they're teaching is good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It's student friendly, parent friendly, teacher friendly, and everything. But based on what I'm doing, it's just such a low level. I mean, just check it out. So let's say like I'm teaching a 4-year. Okay, so I got this 4-year-old kid, and she started reading English, not reading English, but within a year, even I think it was even before a year was over, or about a year, she literally was able to take a word like survive, whatever the list is, whatever word, I'm just picking one out, like surviving, and she'll be able to actually say, think in her head, do all the whatever, and say, I survive in a jungle. And I mean, these kids make up their own sentences, and it's really interesting the sentences that these kids think of. And then I go through the process. Okay, what is this? Why you do this? Why you do this? Why you do that? And they give me the answers, and I'm just thinking to myself, wow, if you could just get this back to America, it would just totally change the whole this grammar educational system in itself. Yes, yes, yes. Yep. This is going to be, I think, the third time we're going to meet up in Osaka, or maybe the fourth time. I don't remember. The last time I met him up here, we didn't make a video. But the one before that is my double whammy videos when me and him were together. That was like all those videos were shot in one day. So yeah, we get ready to meet up again. He's really cool. Yo, I have some ideas about teaching English to Japanese. I'm an app develop, and I'm thinking about putting out some fillers when I come to Japan. Yeah. Definitely do that. If you can, because that's what I've been studying about programming and all this stuff since 1980 something. When I was out in the Philippines, and I never finished. And I've taken so many what are these called? Development programs, on Udemy, but I just never finished them. But I do need to make my I have this phonics program, and it's awesome. And I need to make this is where the top is. I need to make that into a program, definitely on disc, and definitely an app. And this phonics program I have, it would definitely enable what is it called? 3-year-old kids in America to start reading within, if they just play with it every day for like 10, no more than 15 minutes, maybe in about 2, 3 months, 4 months max, they'll be able to start reading. I think it'll be even quicker than that. And if they're 4 years old, maybe 2 months, 3 months. If they're 5 and 6 and 7, it'd probably be a month. They'll just catch on so soon. And then my reading class, I would like to put that in, make an app out of that too. But I'm just thinking, how can I do it? It's just, if I can come out here and teach these Japanese kids from 4 years old, not all of them, but some of them do that. But definitely the 5-year-olds, a lot of them do that. Like the one girl who, she came in my class, I think she was 5 years old, and now she's 8 years old. So in 3 years, what we're doing in class now is she's what is she doing? She's making her own sentences, with one word. But I let her write everything down. And now it's to the point where now she's thinking in her head, she's saying it, and then I'm writing it. But I kind of made not a mistake, but there was a little kid I thought that he was doing well enough to get into the class, but once he got into the class, he never really, I guess, acclimated to the seriousness of the class. But he's too smart to go back into the beginning class, but he's not really paying attention in this class. So of course she's 8, he's only 5, so she's accelerating ahead of him. So I'm just kind of a little worried about that, what I'm going to do about that. But good thing, that she can do that on her own, and then I can focus on him, and hopefully he can catch up. And now he just started first grade, and he's sleepy in the class and stuff. So I'm like, oh my God, But anyway, we tell his mother what's going on, so she's patient, So, but the whole thing is he is at a higher level. There's no way that 8-year-old kid and that 5-year-old kid, definitely the 8-year-old kid is not going to be learning how to take one word in English and make their own sentences to the point where they're using these difficult words, I guess, quote unquote difficult, I guess, whatever, difficult words for kids, I guess, however you want to translate it as, and make it a grammatical. So they call it what, CVC. I'm not sure what it means. I used to remember SVC, subject verb something, I forgot what it's called, but I never, like I said, I never took these classes to teach kids all these acronyms and stuff they have. I'm like, okay, maybe I should learn them, but I said nah, because if I start learning, then it's gonna lead me off to what I'm doing, so I just forget it. But I'm talking about like taking a simple word like eat and then making it into just a regular present tense, and then taking the apple word apple, make a regular sentence, using adjectives, the apple is red, whatever, then having them take that same sentence and make it into different grammatical sentences. And it's just so wonderful to see how these kids catch on to that, and I don't know, it's like, I mean, because I love my country, I love my people, I love all people. I want to see, especially in the black neighborhoods, the educational level of black children to get higher. Of course, I want all children. I'm not just only one black people and stuff like that, because I think the more higher education that people have, I mean, the better that children are, or the faster that children, especially children, can comprehend and be able to move to a higher level or whatever, then it'll just make everybody, every neighborhood better, because now you have all these geniuses in these communities, and they could just build up their own communities and stuff like that, and create jobs and different opportunities and stuff. I mean, basically that's what it is. It's not like there's that many. I mean, I think it would be easier, much simpler or less complex for black people to get educated, open up businesses, and hire black people, because we can, it is possible for every last one of us to be working for, any company. It shouldn't be, black people should not be unemployed, you know what I mean? Because it's just not that many of us, compared to 300 million, whatever, white people. And then, all the other ethnicities that are there. Of course, I know Latino industry they're going up, but, they conglomerating into one, but, they're going to definitely be separated, because they're separated by their country and stuff. But it's just, with this, there's just not enough of us to justify the unemployment that we are experiencing, and it's just not enough of us. We shouldn't have this problem, especially when there's so many um, billionaires and millionaires and things like that. But I think the problem is that a lot of people just don't know how to, they don't create businesses that will employ people, So I think that's the thing. But anyway, I'm jumping way, way, way ahead. But let me see where I gotta go. I guess I gotta stop at Starbucks. But the whole beauty of it all is just that, I'm just seeing these kids just accelerating. I remember I got into a conversation with this one mother. She was Korean, and I told this story. It's a really wonderful story. I like telling it. So she comes to my class after her daughter has been there for a year. But the catch is, her daughter only comes 3 times a week with another Japanese girl. The mother, the Korean mother and the Japanese mother, they're friends, so they daughters come at the same time. The Korean woman is very strong, very, she expresses herself, whatever it concerns she had. So one day, after a year passed, she came to me and said, "Oh, my daughter's been here for a whole year, and she can't speak English." And she was going off on me, and she said, I sent my daughter to Easy, not what I was going to say, Easy something, but I won't say the name. But she sent her daughter to this other company for 5 years. And when she got to my school, she really couldn't speak. But she said, it was 5 years for, just for her kid to have fun. But I know they spent a lot of money, because she told me that before. So I'm thinking to myself, and I told her, I'm like, well, I don't understand. Why would you just send your child to this school just so she can have fun and not learn any English, and then you'll come here and expect me to teach your child better English. I mean, not better English, but teach your child to reach a higher level than this other school, which is really big and it's really popular, you know. And I said, I can do it, but you have to remember, you haven't been here for a whole year. I told you that I can have your children speak about themselves, pretty much making whatever sentence they want by themselves within a year. You only come 3 times, so 1 year is only equivalent to 9 months. I said, just wait a couple of months and they'll be at that level. And so the mother didn't believe me. The Japanese mother, you know, she was just there, you know, not really saying anything, not, you know. And so I said, just wait a couple of months. Maybe a month and a half passed. These kids are starting to just, you know, use a word like bake. I baked ice cream yesterday or whatever. You know, I mean, bake ice cream yesterday. I'm tripping. I baked chicken, you know, roast chicken yesterday. I roasted chicken yesterday or whatever, you know, whatever the word is and stuff. And it was just so awesome to, you know, see these kids just say these sentences. So I invited the mothers to class to listen. So I'm writing for the kids, you know, just to save time and stuff, because they can write at home if they want to. And those 2 students were in there just blah, 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 all in English. And the Korean mother and the Japanese mother, they jaws just dropped, just like, bah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? You know? And I mean, I'm not saying what. And they were like tripping and stuff. So after class, you know, of course, I don't think they apologized. I don't really care about it, but because they didn't do anything wrong by saying what they said. And so I was like, uh-oh, you have the police over there, and he is looking for somebody. I wonder what he's looking at, because he definitely, let me see if I get you guys a quick look. That's the cop car, that's the cop there. So they usually what they're doing is they're, I think, speeding or looking for people without any seatbelts or talking on the phone. But yeah, that's what it is. So he's doing maybe that's a checkpoint. So I think it's either seatbelts. Mostly it's just seatbelts. Sometimes telephones. Oh, I have to use the bathroom. Oh, I gotta use the bathroom like right now. Okay, so let me think. I gotta think, where do I need to park? Where can I go to the park? But anyway, so sorry about that. Got on a little tangent there. There's the Starbucks. I don't want to pay money though. Oh, I can't do that. I want to. Oh, I gotta find a place. Where can I go? There's Starbucks, but no parking, so I can't go there. This Starbucks is really cool. This is not the Homachi one. Matter of fact, that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to Homachi Starbucks, so you can park on the street and go in the bathroom real quick. But anyway, oh, there's another one too that's really cool. So I'm gonna go park there. Hopefully I'll be able to get in and out before the police come. So anyway, what was I saying? So they were like really surprised and stuff, you know. And I had another mother who did that too. I told, you know, we're talking about these stories 1,000 times. And the mother just came in and was saying, my daughter can't do this and she's not speaking English at home. And I'm like, yeah, but she's speaking here. Well, I want her to speak at home. And I'm like, but you don't speak English, so why, you know, your child is not going to just speak to herself and, you know, when you don't understand it. So she started laughing. She came to class. Her daughter was speaking, just saying, making all these sentences, making these jokes and stuff and laughing. And she would translate to her mother what she was saying and stuff like that. So it was just really interesting to say that. But what was really cool was she didn't do it in front of her mom, but sometimes she would make what those things called? She would make wait, hold on. I gotta park. I really do have to park. I'm gonna have to go this way, see what's going on. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so it's all cool and stuff. It's all fun, and it's just really cool just to see how these kids are able to just learn this English at such a young age. But I'm gonna have to do a part 2. I'm sorry for cutting this off, but thank you for listening. And the one I want to do the step. Oh, am I gonna, oh, good. Glad it ain't a one-way street, boy. I was gonna mess up. But yeah, it's just really cool to see that, you know, these kids just accelerating so fast. But I have to go because I gotta take care of some business. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.